All right, so let's wrap up this review. So for exercises 13 and 14, we're going to have this figure that we're going to be referring to, okay? So triangle X, Y, Z, they name it by their endpoints. And we're told that in X, Y, Z, we have a couple segments, X, F, Y, G, and Z, H. And these segments are medians, okay? So a couple things with medians. They're always going to start at an endpoint. So they're always going to start at one of the vertices right here. So they start at X, Y, Z. And then at the other spot, they're always going to hit one of the opposite sides. And when they hit that opposite side, they're going to hit it at its midpoint. So what that means for us is that with each one of these, they are cutting the side of the triangle into two equal pieces. That's what a median does for us. So let's start with number 13. So number 13, find Fy if Yz equals 4x and Fz equals 3x minus 28. So let's identify what is Fy, what is Yz, what is Fz. So Fy is going to be this portion right here. So it appears to be half of one of the sides in my triangle. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We have, so since they're using X, I'll just put a question mark here. We're trying to figure out what that question mark is. Now we know that YZ, that is the whole thing, has a length of 4x. And FZ, which is the length of this half, is 3x minus 28. So we need to figure out what is the measure of Fy. Well, if we think about it this way, YZ is equal to Fy plus Fz. But another thing that we can notice, because this is a median, is that Fy is equal to Fz. So if Fy is equal to Fz, that means that if I want to switch them out anytime, I can. So then I could rewrite this first statement by saying Yz is going to be equal to Fz plus Fz. Because if Fy is the same thing as Fz, then I can switch them out. So Yz is equal to Fz plus Fz. We have measurements for those, so let's put them in. 4x is equal to 3x minus 28 plus 3x minus 28. And so now we got an equation that we can use to solve for x. So combine our like terms on the right side. We have 4x is equal to 6x minus 56. Get all my x's on the left. Negative 2x is equal to negative 56. And then divide by negative 2, and we get x is 28. But now we got to look back in our problem and see what did it ask us for. It asked us for Fy. Okay? So since Fy was the same thing as Fz, that means it was equal to 3x minus 28. So if I want to plug in x, I can do that now. I've got x equals 28, plug it in. 3 times 28 minus 28, and that's going to equal 56. So Fy is going to have a length of 56. Okay, so now keeping in mind that these lines inside the triangle are medians. Look at number 14. So if Fx has a length of 63, what is Rx? Okay, so Fx, that's this whole median. The whole median is 63. And we are asked to figure out what is Rx. So Rx is just a piece of Fx. Well, keep in mind, when the medians all intersect and they intersect at that point R, then all of the medians are getting cut into two pieces. And the two pieces are exactly 1/3 and 2/3 the length of the whole medians. So I know that Fx is my whole median, and it has a length of 63. And I know that Rx is a piece of Fx, and more than that, Rx is the piece that is 2/3 of my whole thing. So if I want to figure out what the length of Rx is, I'm going to take 2/3 and I'm going to multiply it by the length of Fx, which is 63. And when I do that, I will get a length of 42. So Rx will have a length of 42. And if I wanted to figure out what Rf is, then I could go ahead and I could do 1/3 times Fx, or I could take 42 away from 63 and I could figure out that Rf is going to be 21. All right, let's flip over. Let's look at this last page here. All right, so number 15 right here. In triangle DEF, we're told that FG bisects DFE, EI bisects FED, and DH bisects FDE. So all of these lines in here, they are angle bisectors. So we're asked to figure out what is angle FDE. Angle FDE is down here. So angle FDE is made up of angle 5 and angle 6. We'll write that down so we have it for later. FDE is angle 5 plus angle 6. So we are given an angle measure for angle 5 and angle 6. And since we're also told up here that DH bisected FD, so what that means is not only do 5 and 6 create FDE, but they are equal to each other. So angle 5 is equal to angle 6. So these two angles are equal. Their measurements are equal. 5x plus 10 will equal 7x minus 8. So now we have an equation that we can use to solve for x. So we will subtract our 7x over, negative 2x, subtract our 10 over, negative 18, x will equal 9. Look back in our problem. We were asked to figure out what is the measure of angle FDE. So FDE is also equal to angle 5 plus angle 6. So we can plug in x into both of these. So angle 5 was 5x plus 10, so I'm going to plug in my x. So 5 times 9 plus 10, and that's my angle 5, plus 7 times 9 minus 8. That was my angle 6. So 5 times 9 will be 45, plus 10 will be 55. 7 times 9 is 63, minus 8 is also 55. We add those together, and we get 110 degrees. Now, this wasn't the only way that we could have worked out this problem. Since we knew that angle 5 and angle 6 were the same thing, what we could have done is we could have plugged in x for one of them and then multiplied it by 2 instead. And with that method, we would have still gotten 110 degrees. All right, let's look at number 16. In triangle PRS, we're told that PT is an altitude. Okay, so we don't have this triangle in front of us, so let's draw it. Okay, so we've got a triangle right here. Doesn't really specify what type of triangle, but PRS in that order. And then PT is an altitude. So keep in mind, an altitude starts at a vertex, hits at the opposite side, and when it hits, it's going to create a right angle. So something kind of like this. So that's my line PT, that's my altitude. So we are asked to figure out what is the length of RT, and RT is right here. What is the length of RT if RT is represented by x plus 2, and the angle PTR, so this angle right here, has an angle measure of 8x minus 6 degrees. Well, so we look back at our information. We're told that PT is an altitude, which means that it creates right angles. So not only did it create the right angle PTS, but it also created the right angle PTR. So angle PTR, which we represented with 8x minus 6, is a right angle. So we can set it equal to 90. So now from here, we can go through and solve for x. So add our 6, 8x is 96, and then divide by 8, and x will equal 12. So now look back what it asked us. It asked us to find RT. Well, RT is equal to x plus 2. So we solved for x, so we'll plug it in. So RT is equal to 12 plus 2, so RT will be equal to 14. All right, next up, number 17. Which of the following can intersect outside of a triangle? Okay, so we're looking at these. Okay, so the sides, they're not all going to intersect outside of a triangle. In fact, all of the sides can't intersect at one point, or else we wouldn't have a triangle to deal with. Okay, the altitudes, they can intersect inside, on top of, and outside of a triangle. So let's check and make sure the other ones won't. Medians have to intersect always inside. Angle bisectors always have to intersect inside. So which can intersect outside of the triangle? That is just going to be the altitude. All right, let's look at number 18 now. Find x and the measures of EF and FG. So we're given this triangle right here, and what's more than that, we know this is an isosceles triangle because we have two sides that have one tick mark on them, EF and FG. So we know that EF and FG are equal to each other. That's something that'll be helpful for us later. So now let's look back. EF and FG have lengths of 5x and 3x plus 10. If those two sides are equal, then we can set them equal to each other. 5x is equal to 3x plus 10. Solve for x. So let's move 3x over. We get 2x is equal to 10. And then divide by 2, we get x is equal to 5. So we solve for x. Now we got to solve for EF and FG. Well, we set up here that EF is equal to FG. So if I can figure out what one is, I figured out what they both are. So EF is just equal to 5x. And if I plug in my x, EF will equal 5 times 5, which will equal 25. So then I can say that EF equals 25 and FG will equal 25. And that's going to be the end of our review. So, again, if anything in this video or in the other videos was confusing, feel free to shoot me an email over the weekend. And good luck studying, guys.